the only team to me that's gonna like do anything in the West. I mean, the Mavericks might. The Mavericks could fucking prove me wrong,
I was
but
about to say, okay, like before we even start, do you think are are the Lakers a better team than the Mavericks as of right now?
yeah,
You think so?
yes. Bro, I just told you, Luka and LeBron, that duo's that's never happened in NBA history. Like two players that, once again, like LeBron James, the
As
only
a team,
person,
though, like you think as a team y'all are better as a team? I don't think so. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think AD being on that team it has made them like a win now team.
yeah, I'm just gonna have to see in the play. Like, again, bro, AD hasn't done anything without LeBron James. Neither has Kyrie
Kyrie, I was gonna say
Irving.
neither has Kyrie. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're.
like you're talking about it like those guys
I'm
have
just
won
talking.
a.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about what is on the team though. Like as a full team. Like of
Yeah,
course
like
you
that's what I
have
mean. Like
LeBron,
I
you
don't
have
think
Luca. What if one gets
I
injured? What are you gonna do?
I personally don't, bro. Just because I think that those two guys have proven track records of not being able to win by themselves. What makes you think putting them together is gonna make them win? Kyrie was winning because Luka was there. Like I don't know if Kyrie and AD are gonna be,
So you
get
don't
into
think
it like
Kyrie's
that.
gonna play like how he's been playing this whole season, or AD isn't gonna be playing like he's been playing this whole
No,
season?
I think so, but I just once again like AD. Look, if you look at Kyrie's averages this season, I think he's getting 24 points a game. You
Right.
look at Luka's averages and AD's averages, they're pretty similar, but the thing that Luka does is the assists and
Yeah.
like
The
he
thing
makes
that
the
AD
teammates
does is the defense. So
right.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm just what I'm saying, bro. Because like I think people are just looking at the fact that they traded Luca, who is a generational player, and he was their franchise player. But like
Yeah.
that team is not bad.
How do I put this though? Like Luka's better than Anthony Davis. I don't know. Will just ever be. And in my opinion, Luka's already proven that he can take a team to the finals by himself. Like the so not this last year, but the team before. I don't know if you remember. He went to the Western Conference Finals with
Yeah, when they
Reggie
lost against
Bullock.
the Suns.
Yeah, yeah, Reggie Bullock. Um, fucking Davis Bertans. Motherfucking Dorian Finney-Smith, Jalen Brunson, and I think it was KP. And like
Is
he dragged them.
are the Lakers as good as that team?
I think they have pieces that are similar, like you're saying. So like if you can give Luca enough, which I do, I think we have enough currently right now. I think Dalton Connect, Dorian. Again, the Lakers are good. Shake Milton, Dorian Finney-Smith, Dalton Connect, Austin. Like we have, we're not even that. Like I don't know. Like our starting five is,
I
in
mean,
my
y'all are
opinion, not.
decent. Y'all are good.
Yeah,
Y'all
we're
y'all
like,
have Luca and y'all have LeBron though,
yeah,
and I
like
feel like
that's
that's
what I
what you
mean. Like
keep saying.
our
But like,
pieces. It's not like he got traded to the Jazz where they don't have
no,
anybody.
no, I
Like
didn't.
we
I
have,
never
yeah,
said
we
that. I never
no, no,
said y'all
no,
were
for sure,
bad.
but
I'm just
nah, for
saying,
sure,
like,
but
looking at the picture of like the two teams, like, I think people were
yeah,
just
bro,
freaking out just
I
because it's
don't think
Luca.
so.
Okay,
I don't think
we'll
so.
see, bro. I mean,
Yeah, we'll
I
see.
don't. I'm just telling you how I feel. I feel like obviously you're a Laker fan and you're a Luca fan, so that's kind of like not saying you're biased, but you're kind of biased. You know what I mean?
Well, no,
Like,
no, 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 bro. I'm gonna be
I
real.
think the
I'm just
Mavs
looking
are a
at the
better team than
facts.
y'all. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just looking at the facts. Like you talking about, I'm biased. Like I'm just saying what Luca's actually done though.
For sure.
Like
But
Kyrie and
hey, like
AD
you
ain't
said
even done
before,
that.
that was with the Mavs though. That's not with the Lakers. You said that.
Yeah,
We'll see,
I
bro.
just think like
I think people are
those
just the
types of
fact that
players.
Luca is Luca. That's why it is what it is. And the way it happened, you know what I mean? You could have went and asked other teams. You could have shopped him. You didn't just have to trade with the Lakers and get not a bag of chips. I mean, you got a fucking steak and like
Yeah, I was about to say you
you know what I
talking
mean?
up AD like they going to the finals.
No,
So obviously not a bag of
I'm
chips.
talking up AD like he's a great player in this league, and so is Kyrie. So if you're putting
And
two
they
great
are.
players who has a good team,
I think, bro. I think this is what's gonna happen. I think the Mavericks gonna get caught up on the fact that they can't. When Kyrie goes to the bench, dude, who's gonna actually like? I'm sorry, Spencer Dinwiddie and Jaden Hardy. That ain't getting it
Quentin
done in the
Grimes,
playoffs, bro. Bro, that ain't gonna. Come
you
on,
think Shake
CJ. You think
Milton
that?
is, bro? You think Shake
No.
Milton
But
and
I know
Dalton
AR
connect?
is.
Come
I know
on,
Austin
bro.
Reeves is.
That's what I'm
I know
saying.
Dorian
Like,
Finney-Smith is.
it's the same shit. Like, obviously you have Luka and
Nah,
you have LeBron, bro. But like,
I think it's different. I think
okay,
it's a little
we'll
different.
see. We
We'll
shall
see.
see, sir.
Yeah, we shall. We shall.
I'm
I like
just
it. I like
I'm
it.
I'm just
I
I'm
just
just
think
I'm
I don't
trying to
know.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, like y'all have Luka.
Yeah.
That's all that needs to be said. But like, I don't think y'all are a better team than the Mavs right now, as of this very moment.
Let me try to twist your brain a little bit. I've watched AD my entire life, bro, and I'll say these things that Luka doesn't do because I've watched Luka too, and this just doesn't happen to Luka as much. For example, when AD goes up against Jokic, bro, what does he do, CJ?
He gets cooked.
Right. So when Luka goes up against Shea, what does he do?
I mean, he doesn't get
He does
cooked, but
like nah, like he does the cooking. Like
yeah.
he's not shying away in playoff moments. Like I've seen AD go ghost, bro. And I love AD, but I
Is
don't
that
know if
you
he
don't
would have
think
won a
that's
final.
because he's a big though? Like I feel like that's kind of
Yeah, I think it's yeah, like you're saying, I think it's different. Like between a big and a guard, you're right. Like
completely
Luka's
different.
touching the ball 100% of the time. Obviously, like you're saying, he gets way more touches. It's not really the same, but I'm trying to show you like it's
You're
like this
talking
is
about
what he
like
does.
playoff performer who can perform when it
Right.
matters. Yeah, I
When it
understand.
matters,
I
right,
understand.
right. And
I
and
see where
and
you're
and
coming
I
from.
and I've seen him personally, and I know you have too, just at times not take the challenge.
For
And
sure.
Luca, I've seen never run from a challenge. He's
Right.
always there. He's always showing up. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's not even about Luca. I just think that the fact that he's going to be around some of the Mavericks that he used to be around, and then he's also going to have LeBron James, bro. Like that's I don't want to say it, CJ, but like I think that's the best duo in NBA history, bro. Like I really don't know if there's been a better one skill wise. Luca has 5 first team All NBAs. He averages the third most points per game of all time. It's higher than LeBron James. It's higher. Like he's one of the only people who can say that to him. He's
Yeah.
like, look, bro, I average more points than you in my
Yeah.
career, and it's like 7 or 8 years. Like
Yeah.
it's not, Luca. Luca's him, bro. Like he really is him. I just think he has issues, like you're saying. Like when I was saying the other day, and
Yeah, I
we'll
feel
get
like
into it. It's just
yeah.
the
I mean,
attitude.
low key, what you were kind of telling me convinced me that like I'm like, damn, like we'll see. I guess but like you said, LeBron's gonna be there, so that is definitely gonna be a thing. And like you said, no
I
one
think LeBron just helps
he has never been in a
everybody.
situation where LeBron or like someone is like just better than him.
Right.
And like
Yeah.
like you kind of convinced me in a sense to like because I'm like, oh fuck, bro, like they're gonna make it to the fucking final. You know what I mean? But like I kind of started thinking about it, and you were
I
telling me
hope
great
Nico's
thing.
right. I hope they go to the final. I told you this. I hope AD can win a ring without LeBron. That'd be awesome. I just don't know if they can get past the Thunder now without Luca.
Yeah,
Because I don't. I think they need another creator. Like I don't. I just. And the Lakers need a big, but that's easier to get
then
than a.
another
Bro,
career.
they traded away a fucking. Bro, I don't know.
No, I feel
Not
you.
my
Y'all,
problem anymore,
no,
bro.
y'all definitely in the future. Y'all definitely won. Like that's 100% without a doubt. Like obviously we talked about this. It's just
Dude, they're saying, bro, like they're saying we could get. These are the two niggas we eyeing right now. They're saying we could get
Vucevic.
Walker Kessler, not Vuce, not.
Hey, I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if you saw it. Sorry to interrupt, but Danny Ainge, obviously Jazz, right?
Yeah, he said he wasn't trying to help us. That's cool,
So
bro.
I don't
I
think
don't.
he's gonna trade Walker Kessler to y'all. To be honest, like what are
Yeah,
y'all gonna
you're
give
right.
him? What are y'all gonna give him? Like realistically,
Yeah, I don't know.
maybe future
I don't
first
know.
round picks, but would you want that? I feel like you wouldn't want that, right? You wouldn't want
I
to
don't
give
know.
them a 2031 first round pick, right? I wouldn't
Yeah.
personally, because I feel like I mean Walker Kessler is
Or
great.
Claxton or
I saw
Claxton. That was the other
Claxton.
person because we are
I
talking
saw Cla-
about it,
I saw
and I'm like,
Claxton.
bro,
Yeah, my fault.
I'm gonna
I
get into the
interrupted you.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, bro, let me get
that's
into
a
like the person. Yeah,
that's a good one because that's what y'all
yeah,
need. Y'all
it is,
just
and
need a
that's realistic too, bro. I'm not
hundred
gonna
percent,
lie. And if we got him, like again, he's gonna immediately become better because of Luca
100%.
and LeBron,
You're
and
right.
like
Yeah,
it's easier to get a big than a great NBA guard because the guards are all gone. But we'll talk about that,
Yeah,
bro. Like
my fault. Yeah,
there's a lot to talk about, bro,
I
for
like
sure.
this.
I like your take on the Mavs, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I like that. I think that's
we
spicy.
usually don't disagree on a lot of things, and I feel like, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you in a sense, but it's just there's
No.
always two sides of a coin. You know what I mean? And I feel like
Yeah, yeah,
the whole
yeah.
situation is because Luka is who he is. You know,
Right,
like if he was
right.
if he wasn't at that caliber, then it'd be probably be like, oh shit, Dallas got
It'd be
AD.
different. It would be
Yeah,
different.
it'd be a different conversation. But no, yeah, just had to, I like
Yeah, I got you.
that.
All
What's
right.
going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boys over here at Three Man Weave. I'm your co-host CJ, here with my lovely co-host ZD. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, I'm in the building and I'm feeling good. I'm not gonna lie. We were chopping it up for a second before we got on and everything, and obviously talking about Luka and the Mavs and how I'm feeling about that. And I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like I think it's gonna be interesting because I think a lot of people gonna roll in and start being fake fans, whatever the case may be. But like you were saying before we got on, it's just I hope we can figure it out because I don't know if it's like what people think it is, but
Right.
we'll talk about it.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So, on today's docket, we have our trades going around in the NBA. Obviously, Luka just went to the Lakers. Congrats, by the way. I was there when we found that out, so that was a super cool moment for me. I'll forever remember that
Oh,
moment.
for sure.
You know what I mean?
February 1st, 2025, bro.
Exactly. And then De'Aaron Fox just went to the Spurs. We'll get into everything, but we also have
You got a lot, bro.
yeah. I was
You
saying
got a
yeah.
lot.
I was saying yeah. You have
'Cause
some
yeah, yeah, yeah.
questions and
So, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. We're also gonna talk about. I think we're gonna do the Kings, Clippers, and
yes,
the.
around the league.
Yeah, we're gonna go around the league and talk about the. I think the Mavs too, right?
Yeah,
Or what was it? Yeah, it was the
Mavs,
Mavs. I think
Clips, and
the Kings.
Kings. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes,
Because we're
sir.
gonna do a little Western round trip. Reason I'm bringing up the Mavs and the Kings though is just I felt like it would be good to kind of discuss how these trades would kind of impact their
I agree.
teams. I think I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of people, they're gonna talk about the Lakers already. So y'all probably been heard about that trade
Mhm.
and kind of if you're interested in the NBA, you definitely heard about that. You definitely,
Shit, even
keeping
if
up
you
with that.
weren't, bro, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Like this,
bro. I was
this
about to
shit
say that's like
was
on CNN and yeah,
yes,
bro.
it was crazy.
So you guys probably heard about that, but we'll obviously chop it up about the big trade and
Mhm.
kind of all the details and stuff like that. And then we were gonna go through who we think is actually untouchable. So this is kind of like a big trade episode. So we'll talk. Me and CJ will go back and forth and actually kind of discuss three players that we think kind of between the two of us because there's only so many in the NBA that are actually untouchable. This
Mhm.
isn't like a thing where you can make a massive list. So we're gonna go through that at the end of the episode and kind of wrap it up with that and obviously we'll tell you guys kind of who we think is honestly there's not a lot, bro. There's not a lot. I'll keep it real.
Shit, I
If
thought
you
Luca
guys don't
was.
know, honestly, I thought Luca was like you're saying, bro. So yeah, we'll get it right into it. But yeah, I kind of wanted to start off with kind of I think the Thunder play the Bucks tonight. So I don't know if
Yes.
you wanted to recap that game before I kind of got into the Lakers
Yeah, yeah,
situation and
yeah, for sure,
everything.
bro. Actually, the night that we recorded, the Thunder had played. So shout out to Aaron Wiggins. He dropped 41. Shout out to the boy.
You had talked about that on the pod.
Yeah,
Yeah, you were
yeah,
you were like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You
Cause
were showing love.
that's crazy,
I
bro.
forgot about that. Yeah,
41. I
y'all
think.
y'all won by like 30, right?
Yeah, we cooked them, bro. I think it was. I want to say he's the sixth player in Thunder history to score 40. So shout out to Aaron Wiggins. You saved basketball that night, so thank you very much. But yeah, kind of going into the Bucks game tonight. So I saw that pretty much Giannis is out, Middleton's out. I think Dame is game time decision. So I think Brook Lopez is as well. They just had a really tough game last night against the Memphis Grizzlies, and that was a really
Mhm.
good game. So I don't know if it's just a resting thing, just kind of trying to rest up before the All Star game or whatever it may be. But that was a hard fought game. So even if they were to play, not saying that we would blow them out if they were there, but it would definitely be in our favor just because they were. It's a back to back for them. But no, yeah, I'm excited, bro. If Giannis, Middleton, and Dame being questionable is Like I think we're like a minus like 1,300 favorite. I think I checked
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah, yeah.
So it's not like a marquee matchup per se, but hopefully we can go out there. The thing with the Bucks that I noticed that when the last time we played them, because it was in the in season tournament final, they just defended us really well. Like you said, Andre Jackson, um, AJ Green's shooting
Yeah,
threes,
AJ.
lights out. Yeah, so it should be a good game. They're a little undermanned, but hopefully, like
Sure.
we said before, it's situations like these you got to go out there and hopefully we can sit some of the starters fourth quarter like we did
Yeah.
the other night. But yeah, no,
Understood.
I'm just wanting to see what we can do realistically, just kind of keep it rolling. I think Jalen J Dub is out again. Hopefully he's all better by come All-Star game, because I don't even know what his injury is, to be honest. But
Oh, okay.
but
It's probably some like injury management thing.
yeah, I think so. I think it's trying to just rest up a little bit. Obviously, like we talk about all the time, the season's long, so if you can kind of sit out for a little bit, try to get rest up. That's kind of the goal sometimes, especially this part of the season. But yeah, no, that's kind of really all I got. With Giannis being out,
Cool.
it's pretty much a whole different game. It's
Yeah.
you don't have
Did
to
you
worry
did you
about.
see what he had said about Luka?
Nah, what do you say?
He said he wants all the Europe and Jokic too. He said he wants all the Europeans on in big markets. He was like, "Yeah, Milwaukee." Like he's like, "I love Milwaukee, obviously, but I wanted to see Luka in LA." And he's like, "I want to see Jokic in New
New
York."
York.
I
Ooh.
was like, "Bro, whoa, that's
So
crazy." But
so does is
yeah,
that him saying that he wants to go to a big market then?
nah, I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't think so.
It was just
Well,
him.
so this is the thing. So I think they are gonna make a trade. I think that's why all these guys are out. I don't know if one of them's leaving, but I'm assuming kind of what happens around this time, around the trade deadline, is like they'll sit guys. It's just because they might get traded or whatever. Like
Hmm.
I don't know. Like they
Yeah, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
just have this. They don't want to get people hurt. I'm sure Giannis is just sitting for fun. Same with Dame, but Brook Lopez definitely could get traded.
Chris Middleton.
Some of those, yeah, Middleton could get traded. They have other pieces that could definitely be used in certain trade talks. So I think that's kind of why they're sitting some guys. But ultimately, the Thunder should easily, handle this game. I think their defensive net rating, I think throughout the year, but mainly over these last 5 games, kind of speaks for themselves, and
Mhm.
that'll kind of show if you do watch this game. Hopefully, it's not a blowout, but like CJ saying, it's not like a marquee matchup per se.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
but
Shay, and
yeah,
even
man,
even if you're beating a team by like last night, Sixers were beating the Celtics by 26. They still came back, bro. So
right, right,
it ain't over till it's over, bro. That's what I've been saying
yeah,
this whole season, because
yeah.
no lead is safe in
It's
the league
not.
right
It's
now.
not. Yeah, and all these guys are too skilled to say that. And I think kind of going into obviously tomorrow the Lakers play. They're not going to play Doncic. They're not going to play Braun. I think they're going to sit a couple guys against the Clippers. And honestly, we could punt that game. I don't really. I was going to say like I don't really care because obviously kind of what's. I was gonna I'll get into it. I guess like whenever. So if you guys don't know, like whenever players get traded, like it's a business. They kind of call you or let you know, and then they go, hey, like you gotta go. Like it's not something where they're like they'll say bye. Obviously, they say their goodbyes, whatever the case may be. But it's not like what you guys think, where people just hang around and nah. It's like first flight out. Like if you get traded, you gone. So
Hmm.
basically, the reason why all these guys sit is because things could happen like that. They might have to move their families or they might have to pack up their stuff, XYZ. But essentially, what had happened was, bro, is just when Luca got traded, I guess 2 days ago, he made that flight and he kind of got in, I think, last night
Mm.
because there was that video that was going around and,
He threw up the
AD,
LA.
yeah, yeah, bro, and obviously like AD, 82, but yeah, bro, I think, obviously the Clippers have been on a run. They look great. I think Kawhi being back is amazing for them. He's kind of the engine to their team. And honestly, I forgot about Kawhi, but I feel like people just forget about him because he's never really out there. But he is somebody that we have to remember because He's really really good. I think his on and off net rating is something like, I think the Clippers are like +2 when he's off and like +16 when he's on right now. And so like he just, he hasn't been coming off the court. And then obviously James Harden, their all-star, and Norman Powell as well. Those guys have all been playing really 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 well. And to be honest with you, that's more of a core than what the Lakers have right now. We don't have any continuity. JJ used to be teammates with Luka, so figuring out that dynamic of being like a coach and then trying to talk to him is going to be kind of weird. So there's going to be a lot of things that the Lakers have to figure out before we kind of get back into our groove of things. But ultimately, I hope this is a chance for our young guys to play, Koloko, connect, hopefully get more shots and more touches and be prepared to play with a guy like Luka Dončić. I know they've played with LeBron James, and honestly, I was going to tell you that I think they are prepared because they've played with somebody like LeBron, who's honestly better than Luka in my opinion. So just his mental, like what he's done for the game and everything. So he's definitely taught those guys, what to do in certain situations and where to be. So I think it'll be good for those guys to go out there and play. But we gonna get smacked. So I'm just gonna say that now. Like I've been saying, the Clippers are one of the hottest teams in the NBA. We'll be talking about them in a little bit later. But yeah, they look great, bro. They're definitely a scary team. I think that's actually one of our tougher matchups whenever the Lakers do go to the playoffs. I worry if we're going up against the Clippers because they have the defense to get Luka, and we don't really have any bigs right now. But yeah, so if you guys don't know, obviously, you guys probably heard about the trade with Luka and AD, and it was kind of out of nowhere. I think Rob and Nico and all those people, they were able to keep it kind of under wraps for a couple weeks. And I think Nico was saying in his press conference, obviously we'll talk about it in a second, that he just asked Rob over coffee, would you ever, and Rob's like, I don't know, whatever. But that's kind of why you got to ask those things. You never know what people will say. In my opinion, I don't really know why they ultimately did the deal, but I think if you're the Lakers, you do this 100 times out of 100. I'm really proud of what Rob's been able to do this year, and I've been telling you, like, just kind of the championship moves type thing. That's honestly going to be the motto for the rest of the season. Is like, what are we doing that's going to actually make us a powerhouse for the future? And CJ's asked me questions over the last 2 years, kind of like, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go from here? And I don't want to look at Luka as a savior. He's not God, and honestly, that's what I was telling you the other day. I think now that he's on my team, I'm gonna stop looking at him like he's God and everything. Like, we're still gonna have to figure out how we can build around him. I don't think it's a guaranteed finals win because he still hasn't won the finals. I think that's a big thing too. Like, Luka's gone for sure, but he still ain't climbed the mountain, bro. Like, he still doesn't have anything to show for himself. So I think there's a lot of work to be done, but I am excited. But yeah, bro, what did you think about the press conference? I'm not gonna ask you too much about like the trade specifically because we'll talk about it. But what did you think about what Nico had to say and what the other people like Shams and all these other people had to say about it?
Yeah, so like the little press conference that Nico did, it just seemed like he's it was crazy what he said, bro. He said that, oh, like I'm thinking 3 5 years. I'm not thinking 10 years because they'll bury us by then. So it's like kind of like the mentality that he was thinking, like,
Whoa, right?
right? Like, what is
Whoa.
that? Like, you're, bro. Executives are executives for NBA teams, bro. If he's a younger guy too, so is Jason Kidd.
Very
Like,
young.
you could be
Yeah.
here for 10 plus
20.
years, 20
Yeah,
years. You know what
yeah.
I mean? And the fact that he's thinking so like small of a time frame just kind of
Short
blew my
term.
mind. And like I mean, you saw it. I'm pretty sure everyone saw it. Like, Jason Kidd's reaction just kind of said it all. It didn't seem like he
Yeah.
obviously
Was on
Nico.
board.
Yeah, Nico was like, J Kidd had nothing to say about this. It was all me. And then of course, like, that's J Kidd's boss. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, yeah, like
Yeah,
whatever
it's a
you.
business.
Yeah, it's like you said. It's I had no say in this. So regardless of what the situation, I'm gonna go out there and try to win with the team I
Coach. Yeah,
have.
coach. Yep,
But
yep.
yeah, no, it was just kind of shocking to me, the fact that he was thinking such a small time frame. You know what I mean? Because like we were talking about earlier,
Lovely way
I
to say
think
it.
the Mavs are in a decent spot now. I just don't know if they could climb that hill, like you said, because of the AD hasn't done it without LeBron. Kyrie hasn't done it without LeBron or Luka. So like you were saying, you know what I mean? Like you're bringing up great points, and it just kind of, I don't know, man. Like they have a really good team, of course. Like we've been
Oh
watching them this
yeah.
whole season, but is that going to be enough? You know, and that was just kind of what I took from it. Is just kind of like, why are you thinking such a small time frame when you could be here if you do your job the right way for
Man, and
15,
so
20
what,
years?
to piggyback off of what CJ's saying, like we'll get into the details. So the Mavericks, and this is I'm assuming Nico and then Carrie Adelson and her husband, right? So those are the people who are making these decisions for the Mavericks. They traded Luka Doncic, right? Maxi Kleber and Markieff Morris. Mind you, Maxi Kleber and Luka Doncic are both hurt right now. I think Maxi Kleber has a fractured foot, and then Luka obviously has that calf injury,
Mm-hmm.
which he's had pretty much all of 2024
Mm-hmm.
since going back to the NBA Finals. But anyways, um, like yeah, like that is that is essentially saying we don't believe in our franchise player. We're looking for another direction to take, like you're saying, and ultimately he said it on the press conference too. I was gonna say this, like you didn't bring this up, but I know you heard it. He was like, "Yeah, Anthony Davis was the player we wanted." He said "we" though. I said, "Who's we?" You just said that you
You,
made the
yeah,
yeah. Like it seems like you wanted him,
yeah,
right? Not we. So that was kind of interesting wording there because he was saying like, "Oh, I made this decision, but we wanted him." It's like, well, I think you wanted him, but
yeah.
ultimately, you were able to get the higher ups to make that decision as well. And um, so the Mavericks did receive obviously the 2028 the first round pick, right? I'm surprised they weren't able to get more. Um, that really is shocking, especially with the Lakers being as desperate as we are. We would have given up all of our picks for Luca, and I would
Mm-hmm.
have been okay with that.
Yeah,
I
for
would have
sure.
been okay with that. I think that makes perfect sense. The Mavericks didn't ask for it, and ultimately the best feature was AD,
Mm-hmm.
and clearly Max Christie,
Max
who
Christie.
honestly, it's sad to see him go. We didn't really talk about it much, but bro, it's sad to see him go. He was one of our best defensive players this year. He's pretty solid on offense, and like CJ's saying, the Mavericks are already pretty good, and they're
Mm-hmm.
just adding more and more pieces to that puzzle. But they did remove their biggest puzzle piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, like you're saying, I just think that leaves a bunch of question marks kind of going into, you know, the playoffs, but also the future. Like CJ's saying, like if you're thinking on that short of a time frame, it's kind of worrisome because if you don't win, right, like what is this roster going to be, right?
Right.
And I thought that's kind of why you had Luka. So like even
Yes.
if you weren't winning, you could still build around somebody who is a winner and
Mm-hmm.
plays at a high level. But now you're just gonna have old players who are already out of their prime. So to me, it seems like a kind of a short-sighted decision. Ultimately, I think the Jazz are also kind of a winner in this. They took our our
Mm-hmm.
JHS. They took
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hood Schifino, and then they got a couple second round picks. And again, like I was telling CJ on the other pod, like they just keep hoarding more picks. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
seems to care about it. They keep getting more young players, and shout out the Jazz because obviously that's going to pay dividends at some point. And Danny Ainge is a mastermind, and clearly, you brought this up before we got on the pod, but he said, if he would have saw who the player was that the Lakers were receiving, he wouldn't have done it.
Nope.
And I can understand because Danny Ainge is in the West. He doesn't want to see that, and he doesn't want to have to go through that, especially trying to build his own team with the Jazz. He doesn't want to have to worry about Luka being on the Lakers, and
And he also played for the
he.
Celtics too, so I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to see the Lakers be
Oh yeah,
successful.
I think yes, it's crazy that you bring that up. Yes, but I also think he's a businessman. I think he's just
Yeah.
saying like for his own team because it hurts his money. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. I was gonna say, I feel like that's just also salt to the wound. Like, oh,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I
for sure.
helped one of my biggest rival in the league essentially get probably better for the next 10 years.
And I was gonna ask you, funny that you said that. Do you think the Lakers will ever trade Luca?
I hope not. I don't,
I
and I
think we could.
yeah, Sh-
When he's like 34, like I'm not gonna lie to you, the Lakers are so disloyal, bro.
mm,
That's what's crazy. That's why they did AD wrong, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, I would have done the deal. I would have done the deal. But from what we've heard and the sources that we have, and they're very close to like even closer than we'll ever be for right
right.
now. But like Shams and Brian Windhorst and all these, Bro, they said AD waved his trade kicker, said, oh,
Yes.
okay. Like you're gonna trade me, at 3 in the morning. Like, okay. I
Yeah.
see, I see. I think he understands like that. It's like when it's this level of magnitude, you just have to be cool with that.
Mhm.
Like he's not gonna be like, oh, you're trading me for Luka Dončić. Like it's kind of a compliment, honestly. It's just sad. Like it's just because I think there's a lot of like I was telling you on the other pod. I personally believe there was a lot of words said that were fake. Oh, you're gonna be here till you retire. Oh, we're gonna try to win another championship. That's not true, bro. And I hope those people learn from that mistake because that can't go.
Mhm.
You have to be careful. If you're gonna try to make certain deals, you should just probably not say those things because that's where people get. I don't think AD likes LA anymore, bro. I'm gonna keep it straight. I think whenever he goes to the Hall of Fame, he'll say he had a good time with LeBron and he was able to win a championship. But I think he's gonna keep it real and be like the way that they did that was not cool. I know you saw the Luca even was distraught, I think,
Mhm.
and ultimately that's kind of what happens in the NBA. Guys get traded, and it is what it is. And this is probably the most shocking one I've kind of been a part of. I think like mid-season, besides really, I think I don't know. No, I think this is probably the
Yeah,
most
it's
shocking
probably
one.
yeah for sure.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, so I think if you're a Mavericks fan, you should be obviously you guys are frustrated, and I'm frustrated. I'm happy, but I'm frustrated. I'm sure you guys are happy but frustrated. I think if you don't win now, I think it's a massive disappointment and a massive failure, and Jason Kidd won't be there, and Nico won't be there if you guys don't win. I think the Lakers now, if we don't win, we still have a future to look towards, and that's kind of my point. Was like, okay, like now we can kind of suck even and have our picks and still build around somebody who's young and not in their prime and like super good and just a superstar and like it's really an interesting place, to be if you're a Mavs fan. I don't know what that feels like because the Lakers have never done that really before. We've always made championship moves, like I've said, and that's brought championships. And I don't think there's been a time in my lifetime where we've made a mistake in that manner, because we never trade our franchise player away. But I pray for you guys, and I hope you guys win, especially this year. I think next year it'll be even harder because there will be more continuity with the Thunder, the Lakers, and other. I just think you kind of it's a 2025 2026 thing, or I don't think it's happening,
Mhm.
and that's worrisome. So I hope you guys can, obviously you guys are still under the luxury tax. That's awesome, cool. You weren't gonna pay him 350 million, cool. But yeah, I hope they figure out that situation over there. I do. I think their roster has improved dramatically defensively and also with their with their shooting and just I think again it's hard to remove Luka and really think about what the Mavericks are gonna be. Like I'm gonna have to see what happens whenever Kyrie goes to the bench, and
Mhm.
because the Mavericks would really just stagger those guys and the offense would never really drop off, and now there's not really gonna be like a true creator. I mean, Dinwiddie's good, but he's not a playoff guard, I don't think, and I don't know, but just like my team, we don't have any bigs. Um, we have two of the greatest masterminds to really I think I've ever seen in my life, but that's it. We have Austin Reeves, we have Dalton Connect, but yeah, we have no bigs, so I think it's going to be interesting to try to figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, it's gonna be crazy, man. I think y'all play the 25th, right?
Yeah,
You think?
but I don't think
I was gonna say you
I
think
think
Luca is gonna play by then,
oh yeah, let's post All Star break probably. I
right?
don't know if he'll be like again, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't think he's in shape. I saw the video. He looks kind of chubby. Like, I don't think he's like super in shape. He definitely, the Mavericks must have known something, right? Like, I don't know if it'll come out later, but
So
ultimately,
how does that work? Because I was talking to Zach about it, about like getting a trade, and then obviously he'll go through like a physical and stuff. What if the physical comes back and it's like y'all already agreed to the trade? So is it just like is that how it's always been in the NBA? Like you get
yeah.
traded
I mean,
someone and they get a physical, and what if they had like a bigger injury or whatever? Like how does
Good question. I mean, so luckily, like as we've progressed with just modern medicine, and like so in the old NBA, that I think that used to happen a little bit more than it does now, just because teams are testing guys before they trade them. I think Luka's gonna pass his physical, right?
Mhm.
But he could be 20 pounds overweight.
Right.
But to your point, I think if they don't pass the physical, it means you can veto the trade, and I think
Okay.
that used to happen in the past, and
Oh, gotcha,
that's
gotcha.
kind of why I'm saying like just as modern medicine improves and people become smarter and
Right,
just
right,
more efficient, and there's like AI and stuff like that. Like it's pretty hard to like fail, a physical just because the Mavericks tested him, the
right.
Lakers with different team doctors will test him. Um, and hopefully, he's good. I like Maxi. Hopefully he's good, but again, I think Rob fucked us for right now because like these guys can't play. It's like we're gonna trot out LeBron James for 40 minutes tonight and Austin Reeves and no AD now and no defense, no Christie, right? No, oh my goodness, like no Christie.
Yeah.
Vando, yeah, it's kind of slim pickings. We have Vando, we have Finney Smith, we can make it work, but it's not gonna be pretty. So yeah, bro, I don't know. I don't really know. It just I would have given Luca the supermax if he was dribbling the ball up the court, smoking fucking cigarettes and fucking drinking beer, bro.
Facts.
So I, I
100%.
don't, I don't, it's still questionable to me.
Yeah, I
Like I'm still trying to figure it out in my head, like I'm telling you, but I will take it. I am a Lakers fan. I was on the floor. I have never ever felt like this before. I was telling CJ, I wish Kobe could see this. I wonder what he would say, because I mean, he would be absolutely like shocked.
mhm.
Saddened too, obviously, because AD and everything like that. But um, I think ultimately the way that this changes the Mavericks team is they need to go and get a playmaker, and then the way that it changes the Lakers team is we need bigs. So if those teams can get those two things, they'll be like pretty fucking good.
Mhm.
I think the Lakers are better now than they were before, just because again, like we have somebody who, in my opinion, is better than Anthony Davis. Like I don't. It's just that
Yeah.
simple. Like
Yeah.
we got somebody better and younger, and like that's really gonna help. It's really gonna help.
100%, bro. Yeah, it still blows my mind, bro. I really can't believe that Luka's a Laker now. Shit is crazy.
I know it's so
It
weird. Like I
seeing
was
those
telling you, like I can say that
77 purple and gold, bro. This shit's gonna be
purple and
hard, bro.
gold, no, it's crazy.
It's so
But
crazy.
yeah, kind of going into the next few trades. I think
Right.
obviously, you can talk about the deer and fox if you want, because that's
Yeah, yeah.
also
Yeah, for
pretty
sure.
crazy.
So, for everyone that doesn't know, yesterday De'Aaron Fox got traded to the Spurs. So the Spurs acquire De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. The Kings receive Zach LaVine, uh, a 2025 first round pick via the Hornets, but that's top 14 protected. So that's kind of one of those trades that you see as a fan. You're like, oh, bet we have a first round pick, but more than likely the Hornets are going to get that pick,
Right.
honestly. 2027
They
first round
will. 'Cause
pick
they suck.
because they suck. Yeah, they're not gonna make the playoffs. So
Right.
2027 first round pick via Spurs. 2031 first round pick via Timberwolves. 2025 second round pick. 2028 second round pick, and a 2028 second round pick. And then the Bulls receive Zach Collins, Kevin Herter, Trey Jones, and 2025 first round pick for the Spurs. So
Man.
honestly,
The Bulls, the Bulls are
Bulls,
fucking
bro,
tanking. They know
what
exactly what they're doing. No,
what the
no.
they know what they're doing, but like what?
Yeah, so well, we can start off with them if you'd like. I think
Yeah.
they want to lean into Buzelis, Kobe White, and get their draft pick back. I think the Bulls made a mistake of again, they did a deal with the Spurs to get DeRozan. That's why they traded that pick, and now they're trading back for it, which is insane because
Yeah.
DeRozan's also involved with the Kings. But
Yeah.
ultimately, the Bulls clearly know where they're going, and it means they're leaning into their draft. I think if you're a Bulls fan, this should make you happy. I think it's frustrating how you got here, right? Because you could have just kept the pick, probably not even had to deal with any of this. I think Vucevic is on his way out next, but
Hmm.
I think they've done a great job of getting off the Levine contract, right? I think Zach Collins is another horrible contract, though.
Hmm.
Probably like a top 20 worst in the league, no offense. But other than that, I mean, Zach LaVine was like really a top five, but in my opinion, he's been super good this season. He's actually been playing to that value, so I don't know if it's such a bad contract anymore. I think
Hmm.
that's why the Kings decided to take that risk. And honestly, he's playing better than he was before without DeMar, and now he's going back to DeMar. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but
Yeah, I saw that and it's just like, damn, it's the Sacramento Bulls now. Yeah.
I'll keep it real. Like he's basically doing what Fox was doing, like points wise, and like it's nothing like it's not really a drop off per se. I think the Kings didn't win, but they didn't lose this trade. I think the Bulls ultimately lost, but for their future they won. But the Spurs, man, I mean, obviously, I mean here we'll talk about obviously I think we can get into the Kings before we get into the Spurs because I feel like the Spurs is like we'll
Yeah.
save that for last. But
Right.
I think the Kings are leaning into to Demont, bro, and
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. Like we've talked about it on this pod. I think in our opinion, Domantas Sabonis is one of you know, if not a top three center in the league. And honestly, bro, I think it's smart for the Kings to lean into kind of making him the hub, kind of seeing how Jokic, Doncic, all these guys kind of play that are like heliocentric. I think Sabonis can kind of be that, and he also doesn't need the ball a ton. Like obviously he needs the ball, but he'll pass it. He'll
Yeah.
kind of quickly pass it. He doesn't dribble it a bunch,
Yeah.
and I think that's going to be nice for the Kings to have. And no offense to De'Aaron Fox, I don't think De'Aaron Fox would have ever been the answer there. And it's sad because the Kings have had Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox, who in my opinion are one of top 10 point guards in the NBA most likely. I think Fox is like probably 10th, but
Mhm.
Halliburton's a little bit higher on the list. And it just kind of goes to show you the types of players they've had come through there, and they just haven't been able to make it work. And it's sad if you're a Sacramento fan because I know you guys are kind of preying on a wishful rock here, and I don't know if that answer is Levine per se. I think the answer is Sabonis, and I think that's where they won in this trade, and obviously being able to get some picks and then getting rid of Huerter, right? I think we talked about it on the pod. I think Kevin Huerter is kind of an older style type of player. I think he's kind of not really a good fit for them anymore. So it's good on them for being able to kind of be like seeing that and being like, okay, let's just lean into Keegan Murray, let him do his thing, and obviously Keon. But yeah, just kind of getting rid of Kev. I think that was smart as well. And hopefully Levine and DeRozan can be a thing, bro. I don't know what their plans are with that really, but
Yeah, because what
hopefully they.
would Malik Monk be their starting point guard, and then Levine DeRozan,
Yeah, I think.
or like Keon
Yeah, I
Ellis
mean,
maybe?
no, I think it's gonna
Right.
have to be Monk.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like,
It's
like,
just,
like you're saying. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just, it's
it's
just weird.
defense is kind of weak, but I mean, offensively, I mean, that's what, like you said,
I
Levine
just think
scoring
it's another
25,
playoff
20,
first round
20.
exit, second round exit. I
Yeah.
mean, but if hey, the Kings are in a better spot going forward. I just think they need to just Sabonis, and that's what they've been able to do. So
Yeah.
I don't, I think with the way he's been able to play this season, it kind of shows you his value. I don't think you need enough superstars around him. I think, in a couple years, I think the Kings are going to probably realize that, try to trade Levine or, DeRozan, but these guys are going to be older, much
Mm.
older.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Um,
Yeah, no, that it's super dope that they kind of have bought in to Sabonis, Like that
right.
move was clearly like, okay, we're ready to move on from De'Aaron Fox Sabonis. Now we're ready to focus just on Sabonis and trying to figure out what it's going to take for us to make it far in the playoffs. But I don't know. Whenever I first saw it, it was just kind of like we of course, like, different circumstances, they were on a different team, but we kind of saw what Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan is already. Obviously Zach
Right.
LaVine has become more efficient. He's a better shooter now, so maybe that might help him out a little bit. But I mean, defensively, like I said, they're all traffic cones out there essentially. Besides Keon Ellis, really.
So yeah, that's the issue. I think though Sabonis can clean some of that mess up. Again, if you play through him, you get rid of the dribbling and over dribbling and initiating off like when guys shouldn't really be touching the ball. You just put Sabonis at the nail. You let guys cut down screens, run efficient action. Like, yeah, the Kings could be an offensive powerhouse, but yeah, their defense is the question. And you need defense. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's why the Thunder are so good, right? It's because they can guard.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, obviously if we had to say an ultimate winner for this trade, it's got to be the Spurs, right? No doubt,
100%,
right? What,
bro.
what 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 do you think about that?
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, I would like to say, I mean, both of us, we've been like our takes this whole season have been pretty good, bro, for the most part. Because I
Pretty
think
good
we
for
we
sure.
we talked about De'Aaron Fox potentially being going to the San Antonio Spurs, and I mean, pick and roll with Wemby is gonna be crazy. De'Aaron Fox isn't the best 3-point shooter right now, but just having a young guard that is an All NBA player with Wemby,
Explosive.
who's
He's
it's
explosive.
dude, that pick and roll is gonna be scary, bro. Picking pops, bro. Yeah, like rolling to the rim, De'Aaron Fox throwing him lobs and shit. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. And like you said, I think I told you, bro. They still have Stephon Castle. They still have Devin Vassell. They have Sohan. They have all these young players that they have been building up for the past 3 years, 4 years, whatever it is. And now you're adding an All NBA player to that who y'all, it's literally what y'all are missing. Y'all are missing a guard. Y'all have CP, but CP being there
He's
with
not the
Deer,
future,
he's not
right?
the
Yeah.
future, but he's a great leader and he's gonna be able to. Honestly, I
Bro,
think
they could get like 6 or 7 years out of Fox. That's what I was
yes,
thinking. I'm
that's what I'm
like, yeah,
saying.
bro, like they're gonna get some years out of Fox. And going into the basketball, I think it's gonna be good, a lefty righty combo too. There's not a lot of pick and rolls that are like that. It's a lot of
Hmm.
righty on righty, and I think it's gonna be really easy for Fox to go left and Wemby, pop, the other way, and it's just natural. It's gonna
Hmm.
be very it should be really nice. And I know
Yeah.
whenever Popovich, obviously Popovich hasn't coached all year, but I know whenever he comes back, probably next year, he's going to be extremely probably energized and excited to be able to coach. Obviously, a prime De'Aaron Fox. He's in his prime right now, I would say, and again, I think that window is 5 or 6 years, and that's a
Yeah.
long time. So, and that's kind of they answered our questions of that we've had on previous pods of like what are you guys gonna really do? I think Stephon Castle's wonderful, but I don't think he was gonna be, enough currently what he is. And
Hmm.
obviously if he turns into a 20 point, I think they should get off Keldon Johnson.
Hmm.
Um, that's the one player I think they should trade. Kind of that's not really hasn't really been that good for them, like in turning what they need from him. But ultimately, if the Kings can or the Spurs can do that, I think they're going to be in a lovely spot. I think their balance sheet is very healthy. They have a ton of cap space. They have a lot of picks. I think it
They ha-
kind
they
of,
they have the Hawks pick for this year.
yeah, bro. Yeah, and it really does kind of show you like what you need to do whenever you have a franchise player. And 2 years in, they've gotten De'Aaron Fox, some veterans, Stephon Castle, right? The Spurs have done an amazing job of being able to get Wemby to be able to have people to feel like he's in a good place, in a place that can actually win. And yeah, it'll take some time, but I think the Spurs are the ultimate winners of this trade, and they usually are whenever they do decide to make a trade. They don't make a lot of trades,
They
but
don't.
whenever the Spurs are trying to acquire, it's usually it's a big deal, and ultimately getting De'Aaron Fox is probably the second biggest trade so far. I mean, in
Yeah.
my opinion, I think obviously the Luka one, but just the way that De'Aaron Fox has been able to play over the last 3 or 4 years, I think he continues to get better. He's only shown that he's trying to add a 3-point shot. He's trying to be more efficient, and yeah, him being able to play with Wemby too. He's from Texas. I think it's gonna all work out pretty well.
Dude, I cannot wait till we go to a game, bro. Seeing them.
I know,
It's gonna be a
bro.
highlight reel, bro. I cannot
Dude,
wait,
I
bro.
know. I cannot wait. Like, I was thinking about that today because I was like, bro, like, I can't believe this is actually gonna happen. Like,
Hmm.
we're gonna be able to see those dudes. You know what I'm saying? And like the next time I go to a Lakers game, bro, I was telling you, I told you, bro, guys, I was like telling CJ, I was like, man, I didn't see AD play for the Lakers. Like, it's like wild, like 6 years. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna go see Luka and LeBron for sure,
For
for
sure.
sure.
For
Have to.
sure, bro. Dude,
Have
yeah.
to, bro. Like it's gonna be amazing for sure.
Hey,
Um,
man.
but
Just
yeah,
I was
what's
just
up?
about to say this. The Spurs are just they always figure it out, man. They're always that
Yeah, bro.
franchise. They just go from once, Tim Duncan. Obviously, we know what he did. They were down for a little bit. They get DeMar DeRozan, they get Aldridge, they get these players, and then they end up getting probably one of the best number one picks they could have ever gotten. And now they ended up
bro.
figuring out how to acquire De'Aaron Fox. And like I
Yeah,
said,
man.
it's going to be exciting for them, especially, obviously if they make play in this year, that's probably, a great start. But going into these next 5 years, like you said, of De'Aaron Fox being what he's been these past years, and then Wemby becoming whatever he becomes, because at this point I don't know what to expect from him. So yeah,
Right, right.
it's gonna they're set, bro, and I cannot
Yeah,
stand
they're
it
they're
because
they're good.
the Spurs are, oh dude, I can't
Yeah,
stand I
like a
can't
couple
stand the
weeks ago, I
Spurs.
didn't know with it, but like they're solid.
They're
And if they
solid.
can get another piece, bro, like that would be even again through the draft, whenever they do, because I know they will, they're gonna
Mhm.
be even more solid. So
It
I
might
love
it might
that.
be
But
this year's pick, bro, because I don't know how the
yeah,
Hawks are gonna be looking with Jalen Johnson being out, and the fact that they have
and when
that pick.
we do our draft, our mock draft, we'll kind of see obviously who they might pick. But
Mhm.
yeah, but I mean, honestly, I'm gonna spin back to the Mavs because I think kind of just gonna go around the league, kind
For
of
sure.
chop it up. Obviously, we didn't talk about, too much how really like what they're gonna do with AD and Kyrie and how you believe. You were talking to me honestly before we got on, kind of like what were you saying, man? Tell the three man weave people what you were saying, because I think you should say it.
So I was just telling ZD, I think the Mavs at this very moment right now have a better roster than the Lakers. Obviously, not saying that the Mavs are going to make it to the finals or anything, but I think they just have a more complete team in a sense, because they have had all these great role players that have been stepping up with, Kyrie missing games, Luka missing the past month. They've kind of established themselves already. PJ Washington is having a great year.
Oh
Spencer
yeah,
Dinwiddie. They've had all these players, and they're adding AD. Yes, they lost Luka, of course. We all know it, but Kyrie has been doing what he's been doing, scoring 24 on extreme efficiency, and then you're adding
yeah,
the player that AD
yeah.
has been this whole year. So um, it sucks that they lost Luka, but like you were saying, and Nico has been saying, they're thinking these 3-4 years, but I don't know if it's going to be a championship. That's the only thing. But they are a good team that has been made out of this trade, and I feel like a lot of people are just, the fact that it was Luka is the reason why they're up in flames. And trust me, I would be too if the Thunder traded Shea. Don't get me wrong, but like it's one of those
Oh my
things.
goodness.
It's one of those things where it's like it sucks that it had to happen like that. And like, yes, AD is one of the best defenders in this league, if not the best. But I don't know, bro. It's just one of those things where I think they have a good team. I just don't know how well it's gonna do throughout the whole season, and even
Right.
come playoff time. You know what I mean? Like you said, the deficiencies they have with playmakers and other players that are able to create from themselves, because that team was built around Luka. He made Derek Lively into the player that he has became. Not saying Kyrie can't. Well, no, I'll say it. Kyrie probably won't be able to
Do
make
that. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
make Derek Lively one of those type of players.
Yeah, he
But
won't. He's just
no,
not
he
as
won't
big, not as yeah. It's just
playmaking
different.
ability and stuff. But no, yeah, it's a weird spot for them, because you lost your future, but you gained someone that could benefit y'all now. But if that doesn't come out to chip, then it's gonna
Yeah,
suck.
man. So it's not about the Lakers, so we won't say. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
say. I'm
yeah,
not gonna rebuttal, but I think the Mavericks. So they're in a spot. They're kind of deadlocked. I think what CJ just said about so Derek Lively's hurt for 3 months too. You're gonna
right.
have Gafford and AD and nobody else. You
Hmm.
traded Kleba. You trade like it's not gonna be what people think even right now for them per se. I think they're still gonna struggle. They don't really have a ton of firepower
Hmm.
anymore. Like it's Luca made that team scary. I think AD obviously is very scary and can go for 40 and 20, but like I was telling CJ this, I just CJ this. I just think that him in the playoffs, bro, it's a lot tougher for him to be super efficient and like it's just like I haven't seen him do the things that Luka has been able to do for the Mavericks per se. Like I don't know if AD is going to be able to even do what Luka was doing for the Mavericks, and that's what they need in the playoffs. That's how they were able to get to the finals, and maybe they might be able to get there another way if Kyrie figures out how to be 10 assists and 20 points. Maybe he stops scoring, 5 more points. He drops it down to 18 or 20 and gives you 10 assists. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's a major change, and I know Kyrie could do that.
Hmm.
He stop scoring a little bit and just try to pass the ball and be more of a creator. If he does that, the Mavericks could go to the finals like that. But at the end of the day, I think you brought up a good point. Their future though is just it seems to have been zapped from right up under them, and that was my issue with the Lakers, and it's now transferred to the Mavericks, and I'm really glad that that's not the problem anymore because we the Mavericks have a really, they have a young roster, but it's also semi-old in terms of who they've built the team around, right?
Hmm.
They don't have a young piece that is next up that's like, ready to fill Kyrie's shoes or
Hmm.
AD's shoes. Like 3, 4 years go by, and the Mavericks don't have a chip to show for it. Like Nico's saying, he'll probably be buried. He's
For sure.
buried.
He's buried. Yeah.
I, yeah, I think Stephen A. said that they're going to be the number one team in the West. I don't believe that. I think OKC is still better than them, but
That's crazy.
especially now without Luka.
Hmm.
But I think when Chet's there, I think AD can be neutral. Yeah, there's just a lot of issues with that team. So
Hmm.
they're kind of small. Like I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Luka made them a lot bigger, bro. Like it's just I don't know. So we'll see. But kind of going into our next squad, obviously the Clips, man. I mean, we haven't talked about them at all. So I kind of want to show some love to them, bro. They've been probably the third or fourth best team over the last 10 games, and they're rolling right now, bro. I think Tyronn Lue is what can I say? He's a Hall of Fame coach. He's gonna get it figured out.
100%. I feel
I
like
think
he's like
Kawhi,
very underrated as well. I feel like people think just because like Braun was on like a huge part, obviously,
yes,
of that 3-1,
bro,
but what
for
he's done, been
sure.
able to do with the Clippers since he's gotten there is very impressive. That, and
He's
I
an
feel like
awesome coach.
he makes changes too. That's the thing with him. Like it's not just
Yeah,
like a lot of those coaches, they just are, no, it's my game plan, you're sticking to it. He will make changes throughout games, and it's like a
yes,
simple thing,
dude.
right? But like not a lot of coaches do
Yeah,
that. For everyone that
yeah.
doesn't
Not a lot
know.
of people are doing that. Also another key thing is I think trading Paul George has helped them. I know it's sad. If you were a Clippers fan, you were probably disappointed in moments time, but as you guys can see, this has allowed James Harden and Norman Powell to really shine. And obviously, James Harden had a stretch where he had think like back-to-back 30-point games, one 40-point game in here. So Kawhi just opens up the floor for all of those guys, and I think him being back is kind of what sparked them to kind of have this run and this energy. And honestly, the Clippers are kind of an older team too. The one question that I have for you is, what do you think they're gonna do? Because their future's kind of tied up in OKC's hands. So the Clippers also have to win now too because they're not going to have a big future. So where do you think they can go from here? Do you think they can win a finals with this roster? And
I don't
anything?
think they can win a
Yeah,
finals with it. I think they could potentially. I think there's like a at like highest peak, maybe like second round. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel like they can be matched up with a good
I'm,
matchup in the first round, win that, but come second round, I don't think they have enough firepower. Like their defense is really good. I have it. Their defensive stats so far this season, they're a 109.1 defensive rating. They allow only 108 points per game, which is fifth best. And they oh no, what was it? Yeah, and the way they play is just very up tempo, super scrappy. Like they have those type of players, you know what I mean? But like you said, they're not they're not a young team though. Like they have like Derek Jones. They have players that like a lot of people probably. I'm gonna be honest.
so
I
so and
I need
so
to look it up.
yeah, but like even Zoop.
Zubac,
So
yeah,
yeah, so that's what I was gonna
Powell.
say to
Like
you.
Powell's having a.
I was gonna bring up. I think the Clippers are also their future is iffy, and I think this is where it goes into okay, what are you doing right now? But again, what are you doing for the future? Like
Mhm.
Yeah, the teams that suck, they don't really have anything because they suck, but at least they know they're gonna have a future. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? They know that okay, somebody is coming through this door who's gonna be good, but Clippers got no picks, you know? They don't have any plan B. And I think I was gonna tell you, man, if this doesn't work out this season or next season, they need to start trading people now.
hmm
They gotta get as much value as they can for Kawhi. They gotta punt everybody because this is not, I think we can't keep talking about them like, oh, they're good, they're good, and they have another second round exit. It's not gonna be. That's not what wins you back. Championships, bro.
championships.
Like
Yeah,
leaving in the second, yeah, bro. Like leaving in the second round. So they're gonna have some work to do. I think when it comes playoff time, depending on the seeding, they're gonna have to figure it out. I think there's some matchups that are really bad for them, including the Thunder. They've been playing extremely well though, so I know if you're a Clippers fan, you're extremely excited. I think Kawhi coming back is obviously giving you guys that spark, and then just seeing what you have. Obviously they have some younger talent. Trey Mann can come into his own. He's kind of been their project for the last couple of years, but he has a lot of experience in playoff moments, and I know whenever the playoffs come around, he'll be ready to go. But yeah, bro, I think the Clippers they're kind of like right now, I'll be honest with you, like CJ was saying, this was before Luka got here, but they were playing better than the Lakers, you know.
hmm
So I think the Lakers have kind of been like this. The Clippers have kind of been like that as well, but they've just man, the way that they've been able to kind of build around James Harden, it's been fun to see.
yeah, yeah. And I think obviously, James Harden is a huge part of that. But you're getting a season from Norman Powell where he's averaging his career high. You know what I mean? So it's like he's an older player as well. So it's like you said, they don't really have a future. We have their picks for the next 4 years, whatever, 2 years, whatever it is. I think it's four.
Yeah,
I think it's twenty twenty
it's a
nine.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say it's a while, bro. They might have to trade somebody to get their picks back or get a pick or something because you can't continue on like that. But
yeah.
yeah, no, I mean obviously we kind of already spoke about them already, but kind of going into the Kings situation because we haven't talked about Sacktown obviously in a minute, and they just recently traded De'Aaron Fox, and this is another team who again it's old and their future's kind of up in the air. They have been playing much better since Mike Brown got fired. It is sad we haven't brought
It's
it up, but obviously Christie's been a better coach, so the proof is in the pudding for this season, and there's nothing wrong with that. But ultimately, I think we kind of spoke about it earlier. I think them building around Sabonis is going to be a lot better for their future going forward. However, do you think that this team can actually even go to the Western Conference Finals? And if not, what are the Kings going to have to do to be able to recoup some of the stuff that they lost with De'Aaron Fox? Because again, they lost a creator who can score for himself, but he can also initiate the ball. And like you were saying, Malik Monk can't play the point. I think it's hurt them at times, especially this season. Whenever Fox is sat and Malik Monk is running the point, it just hasn't been quality basketball. So, where do you think the Kings can go from here? And obviously, do you think that that trade was beneficial for them?
Yeah, I don't think they can make it to Western Conference Finals. Maybe make it past the first round if they make the playoffs. Maybe, but like you said, it's like we were talking about it earlier. Building around Sabonis. I mean, there's kind of a blueprint, and obviously, I know y'all probably see it. It's like the evolution, like Nikola Jokic's Charizard, and then
Yeah,
Domantas
those
Sabonis
memes.
is like Charmeleon
Yeah,
and shit like that. That's essentially what he is. You know what I mean? No discredit to Sabonis because, like you said, he's probably a top three center in the league right now. But
right,
the
right.
team that is surrounded by him, I don't think they have enough firepower. They definitely don't have the defense. So from that assessment alone, I would say you definitely need to probably get a guard that can be competent on the defensive side, but can also score and like handle the ball. And then you're gonna also have to get. I don't know. Like I don't think. I mean, I kind of was telling you about it. I don't know if it was on earlier in the pod or before we started recording. We kind of have seen what Zach Levine and DeMar DeRozan has been, obviously on the Bulls, but and Levine has gotten better at shooting and scoring, but I just don't. There a lot of the play styles. It's mid ranges. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for them to be able to, especially come playoff time. If they make the playoffs, for them to actually get stuff going. You know what I mean? Like, and their defense
Yeah,
isn't gonna be able to hold certain teams on, and so they're gonna have to play kind of how the Kings have been playing for the past couple years. Up
Yeah,
pace, super
500
fast,
basketball.
right? And yeah, bro, I don't know. I think looking at this roster, I just Malik Monk is
Yeah,
gonna
the
be
Thunder.
Malik Monk is gonna
Yeah, the
be the
Thunder killed them the other day.
yeah. That was when Aaron Wiggins dropped 41. So
Yeah, so their defensive issues, I think, are gonna. If you're a Kings fan, I think you should be kind of worried, but also excited, I guess. I think Zach LaVine, it's an interesting piece to have, right? But who's gonna be the person that, whenever Malik Monk, all those guys go to the bench, really can bring you something special? I think, Malik Monk was kind of the one who was able to come off the bench and provide that offense whenever Fox was out,
Fox,
and
yeah.
that's not really going to be there, especially, without really an initiator. It's going to be hard for them to be successful. They're 5-5 over the last 10. Recently got blown out by 30 or something to the Thunder, but they also lost to the Sixers. I think there was that game.
Hmm.
I think Maxey went crazy or something like that. But yeah, they haven't been able to guard well all season, and I think that's kind of, it's always been the Kings' issue. But I hope, if you're a Kings fan, I mean, you're gonna have some picks coming up here, a couple second rounders that could be valuable. I think you guys should try to build through the draft and still look for kind of a diamond in the rough type
Yeah.
player, because I don't think you're gonna be able to make. I don't think anybody in the NBA is gonna want to get the Levine contract or DeRozan. Like, I think that your only valuable assets are Keegan Murray and Sabonis.
Hmm.
Those are pretty much the only players that have 5-star value, but pretty much everybody else is below that. So, I mean, hopefully you guys can figure it out. We haven't talked about them much, but they've been okay. They've always been hanging around the West. I think it was cool to kind of see them. They had to light the beam. They had a really good team, but they just came up short against the Warriors, and that happens. Obviously, when Steph Curry goes crazy in a game seven, there's not really much you can do. But they
Right.
were that close. I think if they got over the hump that season, I don't know if De'Aaron Fox would have been traded. So
Mm. Yeah, bro. Kind of going back to what you said as well. Like, they're gonna have to build through the draft, like 100%, because
yeah,
unless
yeah.
they, Sacramento. No offense, I know that's your hometown. Not a lot of free agents go there, bro. Like,
No,
I,
yeah, it's
I,
not a attractive city.
yeah, and there's other teams in Cali that people would probably rather go to, and it's like you said, they just have never been able to get it done. Like, that's the thing
Yeah,
with them. Like,
yeah.
and the fact that they drafted DeAaron, they drafted Tyrese. You traded Tyrese so you could have DeAaron. Now DeAaron's not even on y'all's team. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's gonna be tough, bro. It's gonna be tough for them. Like I said, looking at this roster, I don't see it unless Sabonis is just, I mean, doing what he's been doing all season, which he
right.
probably is going to. You know what I mean? But that can only get you so far, and I don't know
Yeah,
future wise where they're going to be heading. Definitely the draft though, like you said, they have a lot of second round picks, and I'm pretty sure they have
right.
their own picks, right?
Their
So
pick. Yeah, yeah,
their
yeah,
future kind
yeah.
of
Like
lies in their hands. It's
right, right.
which, like, I mean, like I said, they drafted two all NBA point guards. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
there. Y'all have the scouting and stuff. It's just you're gonna have to build that around Sabonis now.
found somebody. Yeah.
So I
So
think it's like you say, it's not as grim as other franchises, but it's definitely a little worrisome because of everything we've been talking about.
right, and they're gonna get bounced in the first or second
First,
round.
first
It's
or
gonna
second round.
be yeah, yeah, the same thing over
Same thing.
deja
Yep.
vu. But
Right.
yeah, so yeah, kind of going into our next segment though. I think this kind of leads me into our next question that I had for you, sir. Is Are there untouchable players in the NBA, man? Kind of. I think it's funny when you talk about Sabonis. I don't think Sabonis is untouchable, but I think he's a 5-star asset for the Kings. So kind of go into what you think about that question, and then
Hmm.
obviously we'll do the exercise. We'll come up with three players kind of amongst the two of us and tell
Right.
the audience.
So, I mean, obviously, we said it earlier. I thought Luka was gonna be untouchable. You know what I mean? So that kind of opened my eyes and kind
Same.
of made me reconsider that, because he's one of the best players in the league, at least top five. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you trade him away, is there really anybody that is untouchable?
Yeah, so my answer to I think there are, and I think if you call these teams, they would say no pretty much to anybody. You don't have an offer that you'd be able to make them that they would be able to think is valuable enough. Um, I think I think it's interesting because I think it depends obviously on the franchise and where they are. I think if you look at it from like a a thinker's perspective, you have to understand that like when somebody says somebody's untouchable, it just means like to them they're too valuable, maybe and value's all subjective, right? Like the value that Shea has to the Thunder is maybe not the value that Shea has to the Spurs, right?
Right.
Um, but kind of going into the players that, obviously we probably think are untouchable when we say that. And this kind of means for the audience that doesn't know what that means, it means essentially they're not willing to trade anybody for this person. I think Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is currently untouchable. Um, the reasons why are because I think the value that he brings to the Thunder defensively and obviously offensively to them it's too valuable. There's not really anybody else in the league that I think not even Wemby because they have Chet. So that's kind of the only other person I was thinking about. But yeah, not even him. I think truly Shea, if you called and you asked about him, Sam Preston, you'd be like, I think he's off the table for sure. Unless you can give me something that like, yeah, it's just not possible.
Yeah.
Half your roster or something.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that is one to me. He's been playing at an MVP candidate the last 3 seasons. He's kind of instrumental to what the Thunder have been able to build. And I don't think Sam Presti is going to want him on any other team because he doesn't want to see that walk out the door. And he knows that doesn't come around to franchise too often. And he's already kind of seen what that looks like with the Thunder in the past and, seen how that plays out. And I don't think he's taking any calls for Shea right now.
Okay. Yeah. No, I like that one because, like you said, it's all based off of the team's needs as well. So yeah, I agree with that because realistically, like who at the guard or even on both sides, like any position, like who can do what Shea has been doing on the court, offensive and defensive side, and
Yeah, right,
like yeah,
right.
you're right. I agree with that honestly, but fuck, bro, I don't know. Just the fact that like Luka got traded, it's like that untouchable word is like what? Like that doesn't even I don't even know what that means now. You know
Doesn't
what I mean?
register
But
right.
no, yeah, no, I like your example or your description of that. And I mean, I think another one, honestly, bro, like
Go
you think
ahead.
I was gonna say I think Nikola Jokic is untouchable.
Yes. Yes, I do too.
Yeah.
If you call about Nikola Jokic, you will get no's because once again he's too instrumental to what the Nuggets have done. But not even just that. I think his track record. So he's already won for the team. In my opinion, like Luka hasn't won for the Mavs. As crazy as it sounds, he still hasn't won an NBA Finals for them, right? So I think if he would have done that, I don't think they make the trade. I think he would be truly untouchable, and that's kind of I think why you're bringing up Jokic is
Mhm.
he already has the track record, the I can get 3 MVPs in a row. I've won a Finals MVP. I've won a Finals. Like he's not going anywhere.
Mhm.
Um, Again, even if you were trying to trade for a younger person, I think that what the Nuggets are doing, um, they're trying to build around him.
Mhm.
And the way that they have it structured, they know that this type of player is never ever going to play in the NBA again. You're never going to have another Nikola Jokic, and there's literally no reason to give it to other teams, right? Because you also have to think about that, like which team is this person going to? You don't want to give, Nikola Jokic to the wrong person,
Mhm.
right? So ultimately, I think when you bring up Nikola Jokic, there's a reason why I think the Nuggets don't take any calls for him, and that's just because he is too valuable to what they do.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I agree. Let me ask you
hmm
this question: do you think Jason Tatum's untouchable?
Mm,
No.
he's touchable, bro.
Okay.
Pause.
Okay. Yeah. I was just
I'm not gonna
curious.
lie. He's not in these tiers of players that we talking about.
Okay.
That I think the last one in the NBA. This is the last one because I think Giannis is not. I think he could get traded.
That was the one I was kind of like
Iffy.
yeah seesawing on. Like I
But
didn't.
you know who I'm gonna say next, right?
Am I? Do I? I don't know. No, I don't. Say it.
Victor Wembanyama.
Duh.
He's
Yes.
untouchable.
100%.
So there is currently right now he's basically the future face of the NBA. The Spurs are not accepting any trades for him, even if they call it, if even if it was Shea,
Hmm.
Giannis, Luka. I think the Spurs would say no.
Hmm.
They understand how valuable Victor Wembanyama is to their franchise, and I didn't bring this up with the other players, but you have to understand the money too, right? That's also why the Mavericks moving off Doncic was so weird because they were projected to get $1 billion in revenue over the next 8 to 10 years because they had Luka, and now that's going to the Lakers, and we don't need it, but we'll take it.
Right.
But I think the Spurs also understand that's what's going to happen with Wemby, all the jersey sales, all the season tickets. Like you can't trade that, right?
Hmm.
And his future value is going to be even more valuable than what he is right now. So to me, he's the last person who's currently untouchable in the NBA in the way that it stands. So those are the three players, in my opinion, and I think in CJ's opinion as well,
Yeah, bro.
um,
I,
are
I, I loved
untouchable.
I
And
loved your explanation of it because after seeing the whole Lucas situation, I was like, "Damn, is there any?" But like, yeah, no, there is for sure. And like the
yeah,
way that you
there's only
just
like three or four
three,
though.
three,
Like you're
yeah,
saying,
no,
yeah,
yeah, it's
you're
it's
like
not it's not how many we probably thought it was at the beginning of the season. You know what I mean? But no, yeah,
yeah.
100%.
I
I
think
fully
LeBron is not untouchable. Obviously, AD's not untouchable.
Curry.
I think J Dub's probably not untouchable. Probably Chet's not untouchable. Like if you call with the right price,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot. Yeah, Curry. Yeah, like there's a lot of where they would listen to the offer, especially
Right.
if it was like very proper. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Hundred
I
percent.
like
I
that,
like
man.
that.
I
I
like
like no,
that.
that was good, bro. I liked your explanation of it because I don't know, man. My head, I'm like turned upside down seeing that, and I'm like, bro, like, is there really? But no, yeah, there is for sure.
There is. Yeah, I think it's like you were saying, it's specific to the team. I
Team,
think people weren't really thinking about that, but
yeah.
that question is like it's very broad. But whenever you're asking the Spurs, hey, would you trade Victor Wembanyama? They're gonna be like, no,
No,
we won't.
right.
Yeah, we won't.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that shit, bro. Yeah, good
So yeah,
shit.
for sure. You gotta pull up the Atlantic Division though,
Yeah,
bro, because
we
I'm trying
sure
to.
do.
Yeah, because we're gonna make these clips. They're gonna go crazy, but obviously, kind of winding down the show. CJ's been doing the who's the best franchise player in kind of each division, West and East. So everybody's getting shown love, and
Hmm.
obviously he's having me pick. So
Yes,
kind of
sir.
CJ, you take it away, brother.
Yes, sir. So on this episode, we're going to be doing the Atlantic Division. So, sir, who do you think the best player in Boston Celtics history is?
Ooh, this is this is tough, bro. I'm gonna say Larry Bird. Um, you could go with Bill Russell, obviously due to like the winning, right? But bro, whenever I think about a Celtic, bro, I hate them, but I think about Larry Bird and his battles with Magic, and obviously how great he was. There's clips you guys can watch his highlights, but there's when he went for 60, I think, or 59 or 60, I think it was 60 against the Hawks. He had them like the whole bench laughing, man. You remember like he was hitting them fadeaway threes, and
Yes,
yeah,
bro.
like they were just laughing because they were like, we can't even guard this. This is too much. But yeah, I got to go with Larry Legend, bro, no doubt.
Yes,
He is the Boston Celtic.
yes, sir. Who do you think the best player in Brooklyn Nets history is?
Can I also include like New Jersey or is it just Brooklyn?
You could do New Jersey.
Okay. Probably I'm gonna go with Jason Kidd. I feel like J Kidd was the coldest when he was on New Jersey. If you guys don't remember, man, he was able to dime Richard Jefferson up, Vince Carter. Definitely, bro. Like, pull up some old clips of Jason Kidd's highlights, cause I know you are,
Yeah,
cause
yeah,
they're
he's
cold,
cold,
bro. He
bro.
was he was sweet, bro, for
Hmm.
sure. So I got to go with New Jersey Nets, Jason Kidd.
Yes, sir. Good choice. Good choice. Who do you think the best player in New York Knicks history is?
I want to say Brunson, not yet. Um, Shit for me, bro. I'm gonna keep it real. It's Carmelo Anthony. I feel
Really?
like the kids, man, yeah, like for me, I know he didn't win, like whatever. But whenever I think of a New York Knick, bro, I think of
Mm.
Hello, baby. Yeah, like so. Yeah, bro. What he was doing at the Garden, I remember he dropped 60, all buckets, no assists, no rebounds. Like he was really getting to it, man. And I'm not gonna lie, like he was just the energy in that building, and with Mike Breen on the calls. I know I'm young, and I didn't watch Willis Reed, Patrick Ewing. I didn't watch none of those dudes, but I watched Carmelo Anthony, so I'm gonna go with him.
Yes, sir. That's a good one. Low key, you have been paying homage to a lot of legends though. So I feel like
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
probably one of the first ones where it's like,
Well, I'm like, nah, I'm going with my
I'm
yeah.
yeah, I like that one, bro. That's a good one. Going into the next one, who do you think the best player in Philadelphia 76ers history is?
Shit. I gotta pay. I'm gonna go with Wilt. I think clearly right, but
Right.
I think Embiid has a chance, bro. I think he really does. If he can figure out his career and like going forward, what he like being a winner, trying to get to the finals. If he can figure that out, it'll be Joel Embiid. I mean, he's the only one who stayed. Um, not to not talk about Wilt, but I don't have a lot of information on him. I think the 100-point game is crazy. I think some of the stats that he was able to put up. I think like I think did he average was 50 for the Lakers or the Sixers?
Sixers, I think.
I think that's when he averaged 50 for that season.
Mm.
So obviously astronomical numbers, but kind of going into Embiid too. I think he when it's funny because if you don't remember when he won the MVP, I think it was the year when he was averaging more points a minute than Wilt did, but he's the only other person who can truly obviously test Wilt in that realm. So if he figures out again how to win a finals or something like that because he has an MVP, I think it'll be Embiid, but it's Wilt.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he averaged 50 for technically Philadelphia Warriors,
Yeah, the Warriors or whatever.
but yeah, for sure. That shit was crazy. Still blows my mind that we don't have any footage of that 100-point game though. Anyways, going on to the next one. Who do you
Right.
think the best player in the Toronto Raptors history is? And this is the last one. Sorry, I usually say last but not least, but switch it up this time.
Okay. Ooh, I like this one. This one's making me think. Damn, I'm gonna go with Kyle Lowry.
Oh, okay.
He's the best Raptor ever, in my opinion. When I think of a Raptor, like somebody who stayed with the team for a while. Um, Kyle Lowry's been traded a bunch of times now. Obviously, got traded to the Heat, the Sixers, a bunch of other teams, but he was kind of the Raptor. It was the first really team that gave him an opportunity, and he was able to make the most of that with Kawhi. Obviously, Kawhi wasn't there for that long, so I'm not going to give it to him. They've had Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter; those are all great players in their own right, but they didn't do what Kyle Lowry did or DeMar did, right? Those guys probably scored the most points for the Toronto Raptors in that uniform and what they were able to do and bring a championship to the city.
I like it.
Them and Spicy P. Like
Yeah, bro.
I gotta give it to Kyle
I
Lowry. I can't believe I'm saying that, but the Raptors are young,
I didn't know if you
young.
were gonna be devious and be like Kawhi.
Nah, yeah, I'm not feeling that, bro. He's not.
Right,
He did his thing for sure, but he ain't a Raptor. Like when I
right.
think of like when you've been bringing up like franchise player, when you say franchise, you've been emphasizing that. So I'm trying
Yeah,
to like make sure they play for the franchise.
I like that one. Yeah, you got that. That was a good division, honestly,
Yeah,
for you to
bro,
like.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I like that. And that was the
I like
last
the
one,
Atlantic.
like you said. I've been working on the edits for it, so we'll look out for those. In due time. But we're gonna get that. We'll probably come with like certain other topics like this, so we can make a little short form content out of it as well. But no, yeah, that wraps up the franchise players, sir. What'd you think about him?
I liked it, man. I like the way that you were able to do it over the, some weeks, and I think being able to clip it up is going to be awesome. But, bro, I've never done that before, and it was cool to kind of go through that exercise because hopefully, those things change.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is for somebody better to eventually become, that next person. Jason Tatum has a chance, right? There's a lot of people who have a chance to be the best franchise player for their team. So, definitely interesting, bro, for sure.
Hell yeah, bro. Was there anything else that you wanted to let the people know before we head out of here, man?
Nah, man, I got a basketball game to go hoop
Yeah.
at. So
How much you
I'm gonna
dropping
go
tonight?
get a 20 ball.
20.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie too. I might try to get like 5, 6, 7. Like I'm gonna try to get me a double double. How about that? 10 and
Yeah,
10.
yeah.
At
And
least that.
I was about to say, and y'all will hear about that, next episode on Wednesday. So you
For
can't
sure.
can't wait to hear about it. But yeah, no, good luck at your game, sir, for one. But if y'all liked and enjoyed this episode of Three Man Weave, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace. Three man, three man,
Peace.
three man. Thunder up. We'll catch
Yeah.
y'all.